Imagine this. You only need a few groceries, a bottle of milk, some bread, maybe a few vegetables. That's it. So, you walk into your local supermarket. Immediately, your attention is pulled in every direction. Hundreds of brands, thousands of products, bright colors, special offers, fresh bakery smells, music. Everything is designed to encourage you to stay just a little longer. Now, imagine walking into a completely different supermarket. The shelves are simpler. The walls are plain. Many products are still sitting inside the cardboard boxes they arrived in. There are fewer choices, less decoration, less noise, almost less of everything. And yet, this simple idea quietly became one of the most successful retail concepts in history. Not in America, not in Japan, not in France. It was born in Germany. Today, German discount supermarkets operate thousands of stores across the world, from London to Sydney, from Chicago to Madrid. Millions of people shop there every single day. And wherever they arrive, something remarkable happens. Prices begin to fall, sometimes before the very first store has even opened its doors. How is that possible? How can supermarkets that look so ordinary outperform some of the biggest retail companies on Earth? The answer has surprisingly little to do with groceries, and almost everything to do with one radical business philosophy. A philosophy born out of necessity. To understand it, we have to travel back to post-war Germany. Germany after the Second World War was rebuilding almost everything. Cities, homes, factories, entire lives. Money was scarce. Resources were limited. People weren't searching for luxury. They were searching for value. Every coin mattered. Every purchase mattered. Every unnecessary expense mattered. Efficiency wasn't a clever business strategy. It was simply a way to survive. Inside one small family grocery store, two brothers began asking a question that would eventually change retail forever. Karl and Theo Albrecht. They weren't dreaming of building beautiful supermarkets. They weren't trying to create an unforgettable shopping experience. Instead, they asked something much simpler. How can we sell everyday products for less than everyone else? Their answer sounds almost obvious today, but in the early 1960s, it challenged almost every rule of modern retail. Instead of offering thousands of different products, offer only the essentials. Instead of expensive shelves, use the shipping boxes whenever possible. Instead of decorating the store, remove everything that doesn't help customers buy groceries. Instead of hiring more employees, design every process to require fewer. Every decision followed exactly the same principle. If it didn't create value for the customer, it didn't belong in the store. Then, in 1962, everything changed. The first modern Aldi discount store opened its doors. At first glance, it didn't look revolutionary. It looked incomplete. Products stacked inside cardboard boxes, simple shelves, almost no decoration, nothing luxurious, nothing impressive. But appearances can be deceiving, because hidden behind that simplicity was one of the most efficient retail systems ever created. Every euro saved operating the store could become a lower price for customers. Lower prices attracted more shoppers. More shoppers increased sales. Higher sales created stronger negotiating power with suppliers, which lowered prices even further. It became a self-reinforcing cycle, a machine that grew stronger every single year. What looked like an ordinary supermarket was actually a masterpiece of business engineering. And without realizing it, Germany had quietly reinvented the supermarket. But the real story was only just beginning. You might think that Aldi won because it was cheaper, but that isn't the whole story, not even close. Because low prices were never the goal. They were simply the result of a completely different way of thinking. Most supermarkets compete by adding more brands, more products, more promotions, more choice, more employees, more complexity. Aldi did the exact opposite. Instead of selling 40 different kinds of ketchup, it might sell only 2. Instead of filling endless shelves, it focused on the products people actually bought. Every product that disappeared made the entire business just a little more efficient. Fewer products meant simpler logistics. Simpler logistics meant lower costs. Lower costs meant lower prices. Lower prices brought more customers, and more customers made the entire system even stronger. It wasn't one clever trick, it was a chain reaction. Then something unexpected happened. Another German company looked at Aldi and asked, "What if we made this system even better?" That company was Lidl. Lidl didn't invent the discount supermarket, but it perfected many parts of it. The stores felt brighter. The bakeries became an attraction. Fresh fruit and vegetables greeted customers at the entrance. The branding felt warmer, more modern, more inviting. Yet underneath, the same discipline remained. Costs stayed low. Processes stayed standardized. Efficiency always came first. Lidl simply wrapped the same powerful engine inside a more comfortable experience. And it worked spectacularly. Today, millions of people shop at Lidl every single day, across Europe, across America, across Australia, across dozens of countries. A business model born in post-war Germany had quietly become a global export. But perhaps the most fascinating part isn't the business model. It's what happens inside your brain. Most people believe that more choice makes better decisions. Psychologists have discovered the opposite is often true. Too many choices create hesitation, stress, decision fatigue. German discount supermarkets remove that problem almost completely. Instead of asking you to choose between 30 breakfast cereals, they might offer only 3. Instead of comparing 20 brands of pasta, you simply pick one and move on. Your shopping becomes faster, simpler, almost effortless. Without realizing it, you're spending less mental energy on every single decision. That's one of the hidden reasons why discount stores often feel so easy to shop in. And then there's another psychological advantage: consistency. Visit almost any Aldi or almost any Lidl, and you'll immediately know where you are. The layout feels familiar. The shelves feel familiar. Even the shopping experience feels familiar. Your brain doesn't need to learn the store again. It already knows the system. And systems build trust. The stores may look simple, but simplicity is exactly what makes them so incredibly difficult to compete with. By now, you might be thinking, this is just a clever supermarket strategy. But it isn't. Because Aldi, and later Lidl, didn't simply build successful supermarkets. They changed the rules of retail itself. When they entered a new country, something remarkable often happened. Competitors reacted long before the first store even opened. Prices dropped, promotions increased. Entire supermarket chains started preparing for a company that wasn't even there yet. Think about that. A supermarket changing an entire market before selling a single product. That kind of influence is incredibly rare. And yet, the real innovation was never low prices. It was never cardboard boxes. It was never private labels. It wasn't even the stores themselves. The innovation was the system. Every single decision supported every other decision. A smaller product range made logistics simpler. Simpler logistics reduced operating costs. Lower costs created lower prices. Lower prices attracted more customers. More customers created greater buying power. Greater buying power reduced costs even further. It was a perfectly engineered loop, one that became stronger every year. That's why so many competitors struggled to copy it. They copied the prices, but not the system. They copied the stores, but not the discipline. They copied the appearance, but not the philosophy. And without the philosophy, the machine simply didn't work. There is a lesson here that goes far beyond supermarkets. The world's greatest businesses rarely succeed because of one brilliant idea. They succeed because hundreds of ordinary decisions work together perfectly. That's what makes great systems so difficult to notice. No single decision feels revolutionary. No single detail explains the success. But together, they become almost impossible to compete with. The next time you walk into an Aldi or a Lidl, take a moment and really look around. The plain shelves, the limited choices, the cardboard boxes, the familiar layout, the fast checkout. None of those decisions happened by accident. Every detail exists for a reason. What looks like simplicity is actually extraordinary sophistication. What looks ordinary is the result of decades of relentless refinement. And what began as a practical solution in post-war Germany quietly became one of the most influential business models the world has ever seen. Because in the end, Germany didn't just build better supermarkets. It reinvented what a supermarket could be. And once you see the system, you'll never walk through those automatic doors the same way again.